My wife and her mom spoke French at dinner, mocking me. Look at him stuffing his face. You know I never wanted you to marry someone like him, but at least his money is good. They both laughed. I finished my meal. Then I replied in perfect French, good, because tonight you're leaving with nothing. The color drained from their faces. I speak 4 languages: English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. My wife knows about Spanish. She thinks I learned it for work. She's never asked about the other 3. That's marriage for you. 10 years together, she's never asked. My name's David Martinez. 34, corporate tax attorney for a firm in Philadelphia. Make $240,000 a year. Own my house outright, bought it in 2012 with a settlement from a case I won. 3-bed, 2-bath, quiet neighborhood in the suburbs. Deed in my name only. Had it before I got married. My wife is Celine, 31, doesn't work, never has. Her family's old money from Leon. They moved to the States when she was 16. She went to private school, expensive college, came out with a degree in art history and no job prospects. We met at a charity gala. She was beautiful, I was successful, made sense at the time. Her mother is Margot Beaumont. 58, also doesn't work. Lives off what she claims is family trust fund money and her ex-husband's alimony. Owns a condo in Manhattan that her parents bought her in the 80s. French citizen, green card holder. Never bothered to become a US citizen. Flies in to visit every few months, currently staying with us. Margot's been in town for 3 weeks. Visiting. Which means she's staying in my guest room, drinking my wine and rearranging my furniture because she doesn't like how Americans decorate. I've been patient, quiet, accommodating. I've also been documenting everything. See, 3 months ago, I noticed something off about my bank accounts. Nothing major. $300 here, $500 there. Small enough that most people wouldn't notice. But I'm a tax attorney. I notice everything. I've been lazy about checking statements. I have everything on auto pay. Bills come in, they get paid, I never look. Stupid in retrospect. But I trusted my wife. That was my mistake. I traced the withdrawals. Joint credit card that Celine and I share. Purchases at stores I've never been to. High-end boutiques, designer furniture, art galleries. I didn't say anything. I watched. The purchases got bigger. $2,000, $5,000, $8,000, all on our joint card, which I pay because Celine doesn't work. Then I noticed something else. Venmo transfers, from Celine's personal account to Margot, $1,000, $2,500, $3,000. Regular transfers. Every week. I logged into Celine's bank account. Yes, I have her password. She wrote it on a post-it note stuck to her laptop. I'm not proud of it, but I did it. Her personal account had $47,000 in it. Money I didn't know about. I checked the deposit history. Transfers from our joint account. My money. Going into her account. Then to Margot. I called my brother. He's a private investigator. Asked him to dig. 2 weeks later he sent me a file. Celine and Margot have been running a scheme. Small scale, but consistent. Celine takes money from our joint account. Transfers it to her personal account. Keeps some for herself. That's the $47,000 sitting there. Then transfers the rest to Margot. Margot uses it to maintain her lifestyle, the condo fees, the car payments, the shopping. But here's the kicker. Margot's trust fund dried up 8 years ago. She's been lying. The family money is gone. She's been living off Celine, and Celine's been living off me. $130,000 over 3 years. That's what my brother estimated. $65,000 went directly to Margot via electronic transfers to her account in New York. The other $65,000 Celine kept, $47,000 still sitting in her personal account, another $18,000 she'd already spent on luxury purchases, spa days, expensive dinners with friends. All my money. I consulted 3 divorce attorneys, all said the same thing. Document everything. Build an airtight case, then file. I could sue for the money back. I could get an annulment based on fraud. I could make sure Celine gets nothing in the divorce. But I needed leverage, I needed proof, I needed them to incriminate themselves, so I waited. Last Monday, Margot announced she's staying another month. The weather is so dreary in New York right now, Sherry, I simply must stay longer. I smiled, said of course, offered to cook dinner Friday night. Celine looked surprised. I don't usually cook when Margot's here. I usually order expensive takeout and sit quietly while they talk about French cinema and criticize American culture. But Friday I cooked beef bourguignon from scratch. Learned the recipe from a French chef I worked with on a case years ago. Takes 6 hours. I spent all afternoon in the kitchen. The cameras I'd hidden when Margot first arrived 3 weeks ago had captured plenty. Small cameras in the smoke detector, the bookshelf, the living room lamp. Audio and video. Every conversation, every insult. Everything I needed. I made sure my brother was waiting outside. And my divorce attorney was on standby. Friday, 7 p.m. Dinner's ready. I set the table, light candles, open a bottle of Bordeaux, play it perfect. Margot arrives from her room. She's wearing a silk blouse that probably cost more than most people's rent. She eyes the table. Oh, David's cooking. How domestic. Celine laughs. Be nice, Milan. He's trying. They sit. I serve. Beef, vegetables, fresh bread. Pour the wine. I sit at the head of the table. They're on either side. Like a parody of a family dinner. We eat quietly at first. I focus on my food. Let them get comfortable. Then Margot starts. In French. I'm translating for you, but they had no idea I understood every word. He eats like a pig. Celine giggles. Mom, stop. I keep eating. Don't react. Margot continues, still in French. I always told you, darling, you should have married Philippe. He had breeding. Class. This one? She gestures at me. He's acceptable, but no class. Celine sips her wine. Responds in French. Philippe was boring. Boring but wealthy. Old money. This one? She points her fork at me, still speaking French. New money. Corporate lawyer. She says it like it's an insult. At least he makes money, Mom. Yes, that's true. Margot cuts her beef. Keeps going in French. Look at him stuffing his face. You know I never wanted you to marry someone like him, but at least his money is good. They both laugh. I finish chewing, swallow, take a sip of wine. Then I put down my fork, look up at them both, and I respond. In perfect French. Good, because tonight, you're leaving with nothing. Silence. Margot's fork stops halfway to her mouth. Celine's wine glass freezes at her lips. They stare at me. You speak French? Margot asks in French, stunned. Fluently, I answer in French. I studied in Paris for 2 years after college. I was a lawyer in an international firm. Celine's face goes white. David, no, let me finish. Still in French. I heard everything, every word, every insult for 3 weeks. Margot tries to recover, responds in French. It was just a joke. A joke? I'm still speaking French. You've treated me like an idiot for 10 years. You took my money. You lied. You thought I'd never know. Celine puts down her glass. Her hand is shaking, begs in French. David, please. $130,000. I switch to English. That's how much you've stolen from me over 3 years. Joint account withdrawals. Transfers to your personal account. Then to your mother. I have every transaction documented. Margot straightens, says in French. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. I pull out my phone. Open the file my brother sent. Show them the screen. Bank records, credit card statements, Venmo transfers, all of it. Celine's eyes go wide. You've been spying on me? I've been monitoring my own money, which you've been stealing. It's not stealing. We're married. It's community property. No. I pull out another folder, physical this time. We have a prenup. Remember? The one your mother insisted on. The one that says any money earned during the marriage stays separate. Any assets brought into the marriage stays separate. The only joint asset we have is that credit card, which I pay, in which you've maxed out 3 times. I slide the folder across the table. Divorce papers. I filed Monday. You're being served now. Celine opens the folder. Her hands are trembling. We can, David, please. I'm also filing a civil suit for the $130,000 plus interest plus my attorney fees. Margot slams her hand on the table, shouts in French, you have no right. I have every right. This is my house, my money, my life you've been mooching off of. I stand up, walk to the door, open it. My brother's there. So is my attorney. A woman named Patricia Chen. Mid-40s, sharp, ruthless. They walk in. Celine, Margot, this is Patricia Chen, my divorce attorney. She'll be handling my case. Patricia sets her briefcase on the table. Mrs. Martinez, you have 24 hours to vacate the premises. This house is Mr. Martinez's sole property, purchased before marriage. You have no claim to it. Celine looks at me. Where am I supposed to go? Your mother's condo. I pull out another paper. Except her condo is about to be foreclosed on. She's 4 months behind on her HOA fees, and she owes $12,000 to the building management. Margot goes pale. That's why you've been taking my money, I continue. Your trust fund dried up. You've been living off Celine, and Celine's been living off me. Parasite feeding a parasite. My brother steps forward. I'm Carlos Martinez, private investigator. I have documentation of every transfer, every purchase, every lie. Mrs. Beaumont, you've been committing wire fraud. Mrs. Martinez, you've been aiding and abetting. Celine starts crying. David, please, I can explain. No need. I have 3 weeks of audio recordings. You and your mother talking about how you married me for money, how I'm acceptable but without class, how I'm useful because I pay for everything. I have it all. Patricia pulls out a tablet, plays a recording. Margot's voice, clear as day, speaking in French. He doesn't notice anything. He's too stupid. We can continue for years. Celine's crying harder now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. You meant every word. I take my wedding ring off, set it on the table. This marriage is over. The prenup protects my assets. You get nothing from the divorce. And I'm suing for every penny you stole. Margot stands. We'll fight this, she says in French. We'll find a lawyer. Find one with your own money, because I'm cutting off the credit card tonight and I'm freezing the joint account. I turn to Patricia. Can you escort them out? With pleasure. Celine grabs my arm. David, please. I love you. We can work this out. I pull away. You love my money. You've made that clear. She's sobbing, mascara running down her face. I'll change, I promise. Just give me another chance. You had 10 years of chances. You used every single one to lie to me. My brother steps in. Ladies, let's go. Pack what you can carry. The rest will be boxed up and sent to wherever you end up. Margot tries one last time. In English, this time. You're making a mistake. Celine is a good wife. Celine is a fraud, and so are you. Get out of my house. They leave, slowly, dramatically. Celine's still crying. Margot's trying to maintain her dignity, but she's rattled. It takes 40 minutes for them to pack, 3 suitcases each. Margot tries to take a painting from the living room. My brother stops her. That stays. It's a family heirloom, she protests in French. It's a print from Home Goods. I bought it last year, $89. She puts it back. Finally, they're at the door. Celine looks at me one last time. I never meant to hurt you. You meant to use me. That's worse. They leave. Carlos follows them to make sure they actually go. Patricia closes the door, turns to me. That went better than expected. They incriminated themselves perfectly. The recordings are solid. The bank records are airtight. You'll win the civil suit, probably recover most of the money minus legal fees. What about criminal charges? Wire fraud is federal. Interstate transfers from Pennsylvania to New York, electronic bank transfers, clear documentation. If you want to pursue it, you can. The DA might take it because you have recordings and bank records. It's an easy win for them, but it'll take time. Civil is faster, and you'll get your money back either way. I'll think about it. She packs up her briefcase. I'll file the divorce petition on Monday. With the prenup and the evidence of fraud, this should be straightforward. You'll be divorced in 6 months, maybe less. Good. She leaves. I'm alone. The house is quiet. The candles are still burning. The beef bourguignon is cold. I sit back down at the table. Pour myself another glass of wine. Look at the ring I took off. 10 years. Wasted on someone who saw me as a wallet. My phone buzzes. Carlos, they went to a hotel. Margot tried to use her credit card. Declined. They're fighting in the lobby. I smile. Text back. Perfect. I finish my wine, blow out the candles, clean up the kitchen. Monday comes. Patricia files the divorce petition. Serves Celine at her hotel. She tries to call me. I don't answer. She tries to come to the house. I've changed the locks. She emails, David, please, we need to talk. I'll go to therapy. I'll get a job. I'll do anything. I don't respond. Tuesday. Margot calls from a blocked number. I answer. You're ruining my daughter's life. She ruined it herself. She made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. She stole $130,000 from me. That's not a mistake. That's theft. It's community property. Read the prenup. Goodbye, Margot. I hang up. Block the number. Wednesday. Patricia calls. They hired a lawyer, some guy named Richard Donovan, 4th-tier ambulance chaser. He sent a demand letter. They want $50,000 as a settlement. For what? Emotional distress and unjust enrichment. He's claiming you benefited from Celine's domestic labor for 10 years and she's owed compensation. That's absurd. It is, I'll respond, but this might drag out longer than I thought. Donovan likes to file motions, lots of them. It'll be annoying. Bill them for your time. I will. Thursday, I go to work. My colleagues notice I'm not wearing my ring. They ask. I tell them I'm getting divorced. They're sympathetic, offer to take me out for drinks. I decline. I don't need sympathy. I need this to be over. Friday, 1 week since the dinner. Celine shows up at my office. Security calls. I tell them not to let her up. She waits in the lobby for 3 hours, eventually leaves. She leaves a note with security. I'm sorry, please call me. See, I throw it away. Saturday, Carlos updates me. Margot's condo is in foreclosure. She has 60 days to pay $12,000 or they're evicting her. She doesn't have it. Her credit cards are maxed. She's borrowing money from friends. Celine moved back in with Margot. They're sharing the condo, fighting constantly. The neighbors have complained about the noise twice. I don't feel bad. I feel vindicated. Sunday, Patricia sends an email. Donovan filed a motion to compel discovery. He wants access to your financial records, tax returns, bank statements. Standard harassment tactic. I'll fight it. But be prepared for this to take a few months. I write back. Do what you need to do. Monday, 2 weeks after the dinner. Celine's lawyer sends another letter. This time they're claiming I entrapped her by secretly recording the dinner. They want the recordings thrown out as evidence. Patricia responds, recording in your own home is legal, especially when discussing fraudulent activity. Motion denied. Tuesday, I get a call from Celine's brother. Laurent, he lives in Paris, runs a hotel there. I've met him twice. David, what happened? Celine is devastated. Ask her. She says you kicked her out for no reason, that you're being cruel. She stole from me, Laurent, $130,000 over 3 years, she and your mother. Silence. Are you serious? I have bank records, I'm suing them both. Murd. Shit, I knew Maman was having money problems, but I didn't know. Your sister's been funneling money to her. My money, behind my back. I'm sorry, David, I didn't know. If I had. It's not your fault, but your sister and your mother lied to me for years. I'm done. I understand. Good luck. He hangs up. Doesn't call again. Wednesday, 3 weeks after the dinner. The civil suit moves forward. Patricia files the complaint. $130,000 plus interest, plus attorney fees, plus court costs. Total, $148,000. Donovan files a motion to dismiss. Claims I can't prove damages because it was marital spending. Patricia files a response with 40 pages of bank records, credit card statements, and Venmo screenshots. Motion denied. Thursday, Margot's condo gets a foreclosure notice. She has 30 days. She calls me again. Different block number. David, please. I made a mistake. Celine made a mistake, but you can't leave us homeless. I'm not leaving you homeless. You're making yourselves homeless by not paying your bills. I don't have any money. That's not my problem. You're heartless. I'm practical. You spent years calling me classless. Now you know what class really looks like. Goodbye. I hang up. Friday, 1 month after the dinner. Divorce is moving forward. Celine's lawyer tries to claim she's entitled to spousal support. Patricia laughs. She never worked, never contributed financially. The prenup is clear. No alimony. Donovan files another motion. Patricia fights it. Judge sides with me. Saturday. I'm cleaning out the guest room. Margot's stuff is still there. Clothes, jewelry, books. I box it all up, ship it to her condo, $200 shipping fee. I add it to the civil suit. Sunday. Carlos calls. Margot's leaving the country. She booked a flight to Paris for next week. One-way ticket. She's running? Looks like it. Can we stop her? Not unless she's charged criminally. Civil suit won't keep her in the country. I call Patricia. Margot's fleeing to France. Damn. If she leaves, we can't collect on the judgment. She'll be untouchable. What about Celine? She's still here. We can go after her. But if Margot leaves, that $65,000 she owes is gone. I think about it. File criminal charges. Wire fraud. Let's see if the DA bites. I'll make some calls. Monday. 5 weeks after the dinner. Patricia calls. DA's interested. Wire fraud across state lines. Electronic transfers. They're reviewing the case. If they file charges, they can prevent Margot from leaving. How long? Few days. Tuesday. Margot's flight is in 48 hours. DA hasn't filed yet. Wednesday. 24 hours until Margot's flight. DA files charges. Wire fraud. Warrant issued. Carlos calls. They arrested Margot at the airport. She was trying to check in. Federal agents took her into custody. She's not leaving? Nope. She's being arraigned tomorrow. Bail hearing Friday. I smile. Good. Thursday. Margot's arraigned. Pleads not guilty. Bail set at $50,000. She doesn't have it. She stays in custody. Friday, 6 weeks after the dinner. Celine calls me from Donovan's office. Patricia patches her through. David, they arrested Maman. She's in jail. Please, you have to drop the charges. I didn't file criminal charges. The DA did. That's out of my hands. Please, she's 58. She can't survive in jail. She should have thought about that before committing wire fraud. I'll pay you back, every penny. Just drop the charges. You don't have any money. I'll get a job. I'll work. I'll do anything. Should have done that 10 years ago. David, this conversation is over. I hang up. Saturday. Patricia calls. Celine's lawyer wants to settle. They're offering to drop all counterclaims if you drop the civil suit. No, they're desperate. Margot's facing federal charges. Celine's broke. They have no leverage. Then we wait. Let them sweat. Sunday. 7 weeks after the dinner. Margot makes bail. Someone, probably Laurent, wired money from France. She's out, but she can't leave the country. Passport surrendered. She moves back into her condo. 21 days until foreclosure. Monday. Divorce mediation. Celine, her lawyer, Patricia, and me. We sit in a conference room. Celine looks terrible, thinner, pale, circles under her eyes. Donovan starts. My client is willing to settle. She'll waive all claims to assets if Mr. Martinez drops the civil suit. My client wants repayment of the funds stolen. There's no proof of theft. We have bank records, recordings, and witness testimony. It's theft. Celine speaks up. David, please, I'm sorry, I'll pay you back. I'll get a job, just give me time. I look at her. Really look at her. 10 years of marriage, reduced to this. How much time? 5 years? 10? You've never worked a day in your life. I'll learn. You're 31 years old. You have an art history degree and no experience. You'll be lucky to make $40,000 a year. It'll take you decades to pay me back. I'll do it, I promise. Patricia leans in. My client is willing to settle. $100,000 paid in full within 90 days. We drop the civil suit. Divorce proceeds uncontested. Donovan, she doesn't have $100,000. Then she'd better find it. The meeting ends. No deal. Tuesday, 8 weeks after the dinner. I'm at work. Colleague stops by my office. Hey, isn't your soon-to-be ex-wife Celine Beaumont? Yeah, why? He shows me his phone, LinkedIn profile. Celine Martinez is now Celine Beaumont. She's posted that she's seeking opportunities in art curation and gallery management. Zero experience. Zero connections. She'll never get hired. I go back to work. Wednesday. Laurent calls from Paris. David, I wired Celine $25,000. It's all I can spare. Please take it as a down payment. Let her go. I don't want your money, Laurent. Then what do you want? Justice. Your sister stole from me. Your mother stole from me. They lied. They used me. I want them to face consequences. They are facing consequences. Maman's facing federal charges. Celine's broken, unemployed. Isn't that enough? I think about it. No, it's not. You're vindictive. I'm fair. They took $130,000. I want it back. Even if it destroys them, they tried to destroy me. They failed. He hangs up. Thursday, Margot's preliminary hearing. Federal prosecutor lays out the case. Wire fraud, $65,000 transferred over 3 years, electronic records, audio recordings airtight. Margot's federal public defender tries to argue it was a misunderstanding. Judge doesn't buy it. Case moves to trial. Trial date 6 months from now. Friday, 9 weeks after the dinner. Divorce finalized. No contest. Celine signed everything. Prenup holds. I keep the house, my accounts, my assets. She gets nothing. I'm officially single. Patricia calls. Congratulations, you're divorced, and the civil suit is still active. They have 60 days to respond or we get a default judgment. They won't respond. They can't. Then we'll get the judgment and start garnishing wages. She doesn't have wages. She will eventually. We'll wait. Saturday, 10 weeks after the dinner. I'm home, alone. The house is quiet, clean, mine. I pour a glass of wine, the same Bordeaux from that Friday dinner. Sit at the table. My phone buzzes. Text from Celine. I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life. I don't respond. Delete the text, block her number. I finish my wine, go to bed early. Sunday morning I wake up and make coffee. Check my email. Message from Laurent. Celine moved back to France. She's staying with me until she figures things out. Maman's trial is in March. I hope you're satisfied. I am. I close my laptop, go for a run, come back, shower, make breakfast. Life goes on. 3 months later I get a notification. Civil suit default judgment, $148,000 in my favor. Celine never responded. I'll never see that money. She's in France. No extradition for civil judgments, but I don't care. I won. 6 months later, Margot's trial, federal court. She's found guilty, wire fraud, sentenced to 18 months federal prison plus restitution. She serves 10 months, gets deported after release. Green card holders can be deported for fraud convictions. Back to France, banned from re-entering the US. I don't attend the trial. I don't need to. It's over. 1 year after the dinner, I'm sitting in my house, alone. Content. I learned French to impress a girl I dated in college. Spent 2 summers in Paris. Got fluent. Never forgot it. That skill saved me $130,000 and 10 more years of lies.